What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so today's video is actually going to be just like a all-around video about my personal wedding dress shopping experience. Today I'm not sitting in my usual location. However, I felt like we needed to switch it up. I was getting tired of sitting in my room all the time filming, so I brought it out to my living room. So let's get started. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background information before I actually talk about, is that a fuzz or a spider? Oh, this is fuzz. For those of you who don't already know, I live in Arizona and the rest of my wonderful family lives back on the East Coast. So wedding dress shopping for me was going to require either them coming to me or me going to them. So when the time came that I was actually shopping for a wedding dress, I kind of already knew where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to New York to find my dress. I feel like New York is a really good place to find a wedding dress because they have so many different wedding salons and wedding shops to go to find dresses. So I feel like the variety out there is really good and a whole bunch of styles. So I really felt confident that I would find my dress in New York. So that's what I did. My wonderful bridesmaid Melissa and myself, after I did the initial kind of search to see where I wanted to actually book appointments for, we went through and we narrowed that down to actual contenders. So she was super sweet and she made a whole Excel spreadsheet of all of the wedding salons that I knew I definitely wanted to go to. At the time of me originally looking and booking appointments, there were no appointment slots for Kleinfeld's at all. I'm not sure if Kleinfeld's is normally all the way booked up like that or if it was just because during the time that I was also looking for my wedding dress, there were so many designers in town who were doing trunk shows. So I'm not sure if it was just timing or if it's always that busy. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I made 4 different appointments at other salons. So a few weeks passed, I had appointments booked. Myself and my bridesmaid Melissa both bought our tickets to fly home. I think it was end of August or very beginning of September. I was Skyping my mom one day. She had asked me if Kleinfeld had any appointments or if I had looked recently, and I said no. So my mom was basically just like, you should get on your computer and see if they have any appointments. Like, you never know, people cancel and reschedule all of the time. Pulled up my computer, put in Kleinfeld, and lo and behold, they had one appointment on September 14th, 9:30 a.m. I clicked and snagged that bad boy so quick, I snatched it. So because I ended up getting an appointment at Kleinfeld's, I actually canceled one of my other appointments at a salon I just wasn't really excited to go to. So I canceled that, and then I still had 4 appointments, but now one of them was to Kleinfeld's. So super excited. Me and Melissa had a really late flight. We stopped at this little place called, I think it was Blanco's Tacos. I think it was Blanco's Tacos. And we stopped and we ate and got some drinks. Yada yada yada. So we had a layover in Charlotte, made it to Pittsburgh. That was Friday morning. We had a Thursday night flight, landed Friday morning. My mom picked us up from the airport, and then it was time to meet up with Jordan's family to drive to New York City. So I actually only ended up taking 4 people with me to find my wedding dress. My mom, Jordan's mom, my bridesmaid Melissa, and Jordan's sister. And Jordan's very sweet dad was so kind and drove us actually into New York City. Are you waiting? So he actually offered to drive us into the city and then drive us around if we needed him during the length of our trip, which was super sweet and much appreciated. I don't actually have a lot of footage, but we ended up staying outside of New York in Jersey City. We stayed at a really cute brownstone, which I highly recommend if you don't want to stay in the city. Saturday morning came. I think we all woke up at like 5:45, 6 a.m. and we were all out of the house by 7:30. So we woke up, got dressed, we're on our way
to find some wedding dresses, and I was freaking excited, okay?
So we took the subway into New York, and I'm pretty sure we were there about 9:15, maybe even like, oh no, we actually got there at 9. We got there perfect timing. Actually got coffee at Ralph Lauren, which was so good. That coffee was so good. Wow. We picked up some overpriced coffee, but good coffee, but overpriced coffee. So we finally made our way to the appointment, and it was beautiful, literally so pretty from the outside. I do have a little bit of footage of that and some pictures. I could already feel my heart beating through my chest. I was so excited and also kind of nervous because I've never tried on wedding dresses before, and I really wasn't sure how it was gonna go, if I was even gonna like anything. I was just really nervous, but ended up going well. Okay, moving on. So I walked in, I checked in. They basically just ask you your name and who's with you today, even though when you make your appointment, you have to tell them like how many people you're bringing. So I checked in and it was just a little bit of a waiting game. Also, you cannot bring food or drink into the salon, which, duh, I should have known. White dresses, drinks, specifically coffee, not a good mixture. However, I brought my coffee in, so I ended up leaving the salon really quick, sucking most of it down, which didn't help my anxiety and my nervousness, because then my heart was just doom, 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 doom. And basically inside I just felt like, and also nauseous. So don't recommend. And if you do, go a little earlier before your appointment, you know, get coffee at like 8. If your appointment's at like 9:30, don't get coffee at 9:15, and then you get it. The opening, the grand opening into the salon was beautiful. It was literally so pretty. It was so pretty. And there were so many women. I think I only waited for like 10 minutes, if that, to be honest. My consultant came over to me and her name was Madeline. I have nothing but good things to say about her, and she really made my entire appointment and experience like amazing. So then we headed back to the wedding suite. We all have our own like little section, like a little couch and a pedestal kind of thing where I would stand up on and show them said dress. So my family sat on the couch and me and Madeline went back to one of the like changing rooms, like a private changing room. When we were back there, she basically asked me my budget. She asked me the vibe of the wedding, what my personal style was. Have I already looked at wedding dresses? If so, what do they look like? Do I have pictures? Just really taking the time to get to know me, my style, the vibe of our wedding. She also asks you about your significant other. So first we kind of just did like a once over together. She went through and pulled dresses based off of what I said. Just her and I together, I think we ended up pulling like 4 or 5 dresses. And while she was putting the dresses into the fitting room, she gave me a moment to look around myself kind of and just really find other dresses on my own that I liked, so I did as such. While I was looking for myself, she came back out to get me and we pulled the dresses that I found on my own, brought them back to the room, and I started trying on dresses. Like I mentioned earlier before, I'd never tried on wedding dresses before, so I truly was getting like the first time experience. She had all the dresses lined up in the room and she asked me which one I was most drawn to first, and I picked up one of the dresses, and it was actually one of the dresses that I picked while I was rummaging around by myself. Rummaging around, that makes it sound like trash. Frolicking around by myself out in wedding dress heaven, and I put the dress on. I was immediately lightheaded, which sounds so like concerning, but it wasn't. I truly had that feeling of like, oh my God, I'm wearing a wedding dress. Like it hit me. And my consultant didn't say anything to me. She put her arm in front of me because I was facing the mirror and she was behind me, kind of like putting me in the dress and, you know, tightening it where it needed to be and all of that. And she had stepped back and put her arm in front of me so I could see her. And I looked at her arm and all of her hair was standing straight up. She had goosebumps on her arm. And I was looking in the mirror and I couldn't even form words. She was kind of like asking me, like, how do you feel? What do you like about it? And I was just like, love. I love. Oh, we went out to show my family. So I walked out and I don't even know how I got there because like I said, I could barely stand up straight. Like it's just such a weird sight to see yourself in, which is so funny because it's just a dress. You know, like if we're breaking it down, it's just a dress, but for some reason, knowing that it's potentially the dress you like marry the love of your life in, it's just so, I don't know, it's very weird. So I showed my family and they were like, yes, 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 10s across the board. Yes, we know this is the first dress, but wowzer. And my mom was like holding back her tears. She looked like she wanted to cry so bad, but she was holding it together for me. After I was out there for a while, kind of showing my family, I went to the back and I was thinking in my mind, like, you know, this is the first dress, that's why I'm so excited, and like that's why I'm feeling that way, it's the first dress. I think I ended up showing my family like 5 dresses in total. There was one dress that I tried on in the room and I didn't feel like it was a dress that I wanted to show them, so I chose not to come out in it, which you absolutely can do. And when I say that I did not get that same feeling in any of them, there are actually pictures of me, I'm not sure if I'll include them or not, trying on a couple of dresses, and I actually look miserable, even though I was not. I was having the best time, but the difference between me coming out in the first dress versus me coming out in 6 more dresses was drastically different. I truly feel like I knew it was hard for me to not compare every single dress that I had tried on to the first dress. So she put me back into the dress. As soon as I put that dress back on, I immediately had the exact same reaction. I couldn't even say how much I loved the dress because I was genuinely speechless, and I knew. I kind of had that moment of like, am I finding a dress too soon? Am I gonna find anything anywhere else that's better? And just the normal kind of indecisive tendencies. And she basically just told me like, I've already been comparing 6 different, totally different style, totally different everything dresses to this one dress, and I was still obsessed with it. So she basically just made me feel really secure in my decision. I'm extremely indecisive. I never find something the first go around, and I was shocked. I was shocked that I found it that soon. I put the dress back on, I showed my family a second time, and even though I was so sure about the dress and I knew that this was my dress, there was one very specific and very important moment to me in my appointment where Jordan's mom looked at me and she was like, yeah, Jordan's gonna cry. Before I said yes, I'll take it, my consultant steered me back to put a veil on. They'll pull your hair back, they'll kind of just like really make it so you're like, I need this dress. She took me back to a private room and my family followed me, and actually when we were walking over there, the designer of the dress I was wearing stopped me and was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you love the dress? And I was like, I love, and it was insane. I cannot believe that I met the designer. He actually came back with us into the like more private like bridal room, and we were all crying. We all started crying. It really hit me that this was my dress because I was now brought to tears. And if you know me, I'm a crier. I'm a Pisces. I mentioned that. Did I say that? I'm a Pisces and I cry all the time, and I'm very easily moved to tears. I hadn't really like cried putting on any of these dresses, and then they put the veil on and I was like, I feel them brewing. Madeline asked me if I was saying yes to the dress, and I said yes, absolutely. So we did all the final parts of the appointment. So I got measured, I ordered the dress in my correct size, and I signed off on all the paperwork saying that I was paying for it and that I was getting it shipped, since I did live across the country, and I'm getting it tailored here when it comes in. Luckily, I won't need a lot of things done to it. I think on average the normal appointment there is about an hour and 30 minutes, and it definitely, like, I used all of that time. That is how my experience went finding my wedding dress. It was very quick. So we left my bridal appointment. We talked about it for the rest of the weekend. I left on Monday and we talked about it from Saturday at whatever time we left the appointment all the way until Monday when I left. We also hadn't eaten that morning, so we stopped right around the corner at a really cute vegan spot called By Chloe, and we got breakfast and some champagne. And that day we walked 10 miles without even like thinking. It wasn't planned, it just happened. Before we knew it, we were 9 miles deep, and we said, well, this is where our day has taken us. Jordan's mom actually had us all get on these, what are they called? I don't know what the name is, but I'll insert the clip here. But we basically took these all the way into Central Park, and it was so fun. Sunday morning, we really didn't do too much. We got really good coffee in Jersey City, and that was my trip to New York City. That was my entire wedding dress shopping experience, my entire wedding dress weekend. So I actually asked you guys to ask me any and all wedding questions that you had on my Instagram, and so I'm going to just answer a couple of those right now. The first question is, were you completely set on your dress being white? And the answer to that is no, actually. I was open to white, off-white. To be honest, if they would have showed me a pink dress, if the pink dress looked good, I would have went with pink. I probably maybe would have not wore like a black dress, but to each their own, just wasn't for me. But no, I wasn't set on having a white dress at all. Okay, so the next question isn't even really a question. It's how to get the perfect wedding body. And I'm just gonna say right now, I know she's probably joking because I know who asked this question. However, there's not a perfect wedding body. And that's how I feel about your perfect wedding body. Okay. She tried me with that one. Okay, someone said, what color? If white, what shade? My dress is kind of white, but the majority of the dress is white. I'll just say that. The majority of their dress is white. Okay, next question. Did you have a vision of the dress you wanted? Yes and no. So I had a few things that I thought I wanted for a dress. Like I said, I never tried on a dress before, so I didn't know what styles looked good on me. I didn't know what cuts, what necklines. I didn't know anything. And I'm relatively short, so honestly, I just wanted something that made me look tall, that made me look grown sexy, that made me feel like a bride, and that's really all I was looking for. Okay, next question. What was your experience at Kleinfeld's overall? So my overall experience was actually amazing. And I think that even like the women that I brought with me could testify to that. I had high expectations because when you grow up watching something like that, you think it's going to be a certain way, and I truly was like, this can go either way. Either I'm going to be blown out of the water or I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Most of the experience is due to your consultant. So from what I saw and from my personal experience, everyone there was phenomenal, and they really do make the experience, they really make the appointment about you and what you want. Next question. Are the dresses there really expensive? So absolutely yes, there are really expensive dresses there. However, there are really affordable dresses there as well. So I think a lot of it is just knowing your budget, like being really strict with your budget, knowing what you actually are willing to spend on a wedding dress. So even though they have really expensive dresses there, if your budget going in is X amount of dollars, they're not gonna show you something 5 times more expensive than your budget. That way, she's only showing you dresses that are actually in your budget, and you don't risk like falling in love with something that you can't afford. You know what I mean? That sounds horrible. Another question is, how many dress stores did you go to before you found the one? So I only ended up going to one. I had 4 scheduled, only went to one, found my dress at the first one, very quick day. Next question is, how did you get an appointment? How far in advance did you book? You just make all of your appointments online, and I started booking appointments probably a month and a half before I actually was planning to go find my wedding dress. Okay, next question is it true when they say you know the one the second you put it on? For me, yes, absolutely, because I had tried on the first dress, and at first I thought I was feeling that way because it was the very first dress, until I had tried on like 7 other dresses, and I did not get the same feeling in any of them. I ended up going back to the very first dress. I knew that that dress was my dress. As soon as I put it on, it felt like me. Next question is, what style were you looking for? I thought I wanted some things. I'm not gonna name the things off because I don't want to give anything. I don't want to give anything away about the dress that I did or did not pick. The style that I wanted is just romantic, bohemian, a little bit sexy. Okay, so one more question. There's a question here that says, how long did you get the dress? I hope I'm answering this correctly, but my dress is full length. All right, so that concludes all of the questions and just the explanation, the very long-winded explanation of my wedding dress shopping experience. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It got awfully dark. Actually, back there's kind of scary. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more wedding videos, please let me know. I will do them for you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and give me a likey. I would really appreciate it. All right, talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Okay.